Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in supporting Kicking Cancer. Kicking Cancer provides support, education, and resources for cancer patients, survivors, and families. Kicking-cancer.org. More than just a home, the Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser. Arbor at AvamereCourt.com. Assisted living at Avamere at Albany. AvamereAtAlbany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Experts in luxury home sales, farm and ranch, commercial, business sales, and land developments. On the web at dore.llc.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Here we are live on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. And Scott is coming remotely from PDX this morning. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Over here at Gate 5, waiting for our delayed flight from Portland to Austin.
Awesome. Leaving back. And unfortunately, I missed you this time because we just got back in from vacation ourselves. But we're coming and going. Busy life we lead, right?
I tell you, it was, I came in on Thursday night 11 days ago, and you were flying, I came in on a Thursday. You flew out on a Friday morning, right? And so we just missed each other.
Yes. I was up there staying at the airport Thursday night, and then we flew out Friday morning. But I'm so glad you had a chance to come back to Oregon to your reunion. Tell us a little bit about that, Scott.
Yeah, so our 45th high school reunion. And, we did it over a couple of days. We were meeting at Sky High in Corvallis, and then Woodstock's Pizza. You can't miss Woodstock's when you're in Corvallis. For lunch on Saturday, and then the Peacocks, which is like another classic destination in the town.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you, I love Woodstock's and know the owner is a great place. Obviously, you and I both graduated from Oregon State, so spent many years down in Corvallis, so amazing. Well, Scott, listen, we're here on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott this morning, and I want to tell everybody there's more information about us on local.theexperience.video, more on this show, our flagship show on Wednesdays, and all that Scott's doing with the Waco Experience. And so there's so many great things going on there, plus other things that Scott and I are doing. You want to check that out. Also, you can go straight to our YouTube page at theexperience.video, or you can jump right directly from local.theexperience.video to your YouTube page as well. And please subscribe today. We would really, really appreciate it if you did that. It's growing. We got more people coming, and so we just appreciate you doing that. The only sad note for today is that my trusty Beagle Maddie no longer will be showing up on YouTube as she went to rest yesterday. We lost her last night. It was very sad. But the good news is I've got so many great memories, Scott. So many great memories. And all of those YouTube videos will be there forever.
Yeah, it was always fun to come visit you and see the animals. Maddie, that was fun. Hey, and you just got back. You were in Baltimore and got to see a few people. I was just at the Uplift Leadership Summit career summit for college and high school students. Who did you get to see while you were on the other side of the continent?
Well, I was blessed. We flew into Boston, got to see Plymouth, where Plymouth Rock was, where the Pilgrims first came over. We got to see Salem, Massachusetts, where the witch trials were. But what was most interesting is we're from Salem, Oregon, so that we had to go to Salem, Massachusetts. Of course, we went to Portland, Maine, because Portland, Oregon is right here, and we stayed in Rockland, Maine. And I'm telling you that Rockland, Maine was beautiful, right on the coast, a sleepy little town, much like Jessica Fletcher and the Murder, She Wrote town. It was very, very wonderful. And we loved it. We had a wonderful week there. So it was so great. But now I'm going to shift to Scott.
Let's do it.
I want to shift us over and get Kirby in here because we want to see him and get him rolling. Kirby is an amazing, amazing friend, Christ follower, owner of Best Heating. Welcome, Mr. Kirby Loewen. How's it going, Kirby?
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. It's always a blessing to have you, Kirby. You're such a good friend, and I appreciate all that you're doing. And I want you to start off with telling everybody a little bit about who is Kirby and what are you up to?
Yeah, well, some name's Kirby Loewen. I am part owner. My dad is also part owner of Best Heating and Cooling. We opened in 1990, which is actually a couple years before I was born. We serve the Mid-Willamette Valley area, heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, range of HVAC work, basically everything under the HVAC umbrella we do. A little bit about myself is a family man. I have 3 dogs, cat. I have a son who's 8 years old, and we're kind of going through the trials and tribulations of growing up and having to buy clothes more often than you think. All the things as a kid that didn't think that didn't understand, but as a parent, and of course as you both know, I'm sure the kids grow really fast. And so I'm just kind of at this stage in my life right now where my wife and I are just trying to put the best foot forward to and lead by example. And we're enjoying life right now. We are certainly going through challenges and tribulations, so to speak, whether it's business world, the business and political climate and how much is changing in our lives, and then just, who we're surrounding ourselves with. And so I would say one thing that I'm really focused on right now is really trying to determine what is the best use of my time and who are the best people to have around me. And I'm fortunate to have, Russ more closely, but both Scott, you as well, as people in my life that you may not know it, but I watch some of these podcasts and I take tidbits and things that I learned from you guys and some of your guests, and hoping to use that to improve my future.
Kirby, I'm honored and humbled. Thank you for that. And I really like when businesses are multi-generational, right? So you're the business was started even before you were born. Here you are, perhaps even your son, obviously at 8 years old, probably not going to be thinking about whether he's going to carry on the family business. But let's talk about growing up, watching your father, that influence, and how you came to be part owner of this.
Yeah. So, growing up, obviously, I really didn't. I went through stages of my life where I, thought, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to, work in in the family business. And there was also many stages of life where I really had little to no interest. Something that, I look back now and I understand, but at the time when I was same thing, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and as understand, as a business owner, you go through stages where you're really busy. There's a lot riding on you. So you're putting in 12, 16 hours a day. And I saw that. There was many times where, my dad wouldn't come home till 8 o'clock or something, pretty late when it was already my bedtime. So I didn't get to maybe play with him or see him as early as I had hoped. But there was other things that we went on trips together. We went camping and fishing and hunting, and we did a lot of things that I don't think as many other families had the opportunity to do. So it taught me a little bit about work ethic and a little bit about what's worth sacrificing. And all of us, we only have one real currency, and it's time. And I can look at growing up what my dad did well, what my dad didn't do well. But what I saw is his sacrifices paid off, and I think helped improve my outlook on what it's like owning a business, running a business, again, what people I have in my life. And, I didn't really understand any of the business part of it. I just understood like what he was as a father. And again, even at the time, no, but now at this point in my life, I like look back at many memories and think, oh, I understand why he couldn't be there maybe for that basketball game, or he couldn't be there for that soccer game. But on the flip side, we got to do many fun things that, gave us opportunity to do that as being a business owner. And, growing up, really, I didn't really have an idea that I wanted to. I talked about it here and there, but I didn't really have an idea that I really wanted to take over this business, or really buy this business from him, until I was about 24, 25 years old. And a lot of that had to do with kind of the people I surrounded myself with, especially after I got married. I got married at 21 years old, pretty young in today's standards, so to speak. But I got around, I would say, people like John C. Maxwell, through a Worldwide Dream Builders group, which is a organization that kind of works with Amway, and Amway always kind of gets a bad rap, but there's organizations that work with that really teach you about people and leadership, and this, if you're successful in business, and what freedoms that allows you. And that kind of being around those type of people really pushed me into the business aspect. And then also through those people, I kind of reinvigorated and kind of found God within myself, and how I could take, listening to him, or how he speaks through other people to me in a way that realize that, okay, this is the path I want to take. And, even to this day, sometimes I'm like, yeah, did I really, should I have done this? Did I want to do this? Because we all have that I want to be lazy muscle, we all have that. I just don't, I don't feel like having to get up early. I don't feel like having to work late today, but the sacrifice is worth it. And I think that God rewards sacrifice.
Well, Kirby, I, first of all, am so thankful for you, your faith, and all that you're about. And I just want to remind everybody listening today that we're talking to my good friend Kirby Loewen, who is one of the owners with his dad of Best Heating and Cooling in Scioto, Oregon, and a strong faith, Christ follower. And Kirby, talk a little bit more about that, because your faith is so important to your goals, to your work ethic. Your dad, he really modeled what it was like for you growing up, and a good character for you as well. But talk about your own personal faith and why that's so important in all that you do.
Yeah. So when I was obviously, as growing up as a kid, my my dad wasn't like, and he really still isn't like the real heavy religious type, but he grew up as a Mennonite, which is a fairly conservative Christian faith. And so he was given that background, that upbringing. And then I was sort of in the same way. I remember, as a kid, going to Bible school, and we would go to a church occasionally, usually special occasions and things. And so I kind of had that background of most of the people in my life, the kids I grew up with, they weren't, they didn't go to church. I wouldn't say that they weren't followers, but it wasn't something that was real common, especially in public school. Now it's even worse, but back then. And mainly through meeting my wife and our marriage, we just kind of opened our arms, opened our hearts to God in a way that was, how can he guide us through our difficult times, and guide us through meeting the right people, and who to listen to. And there's a preacher, a pastor that I'm still friends with and acquaintances with, who kind of shed some light on talking about, the people that God puts in your life, and how he kind of can sometimes speak through these other people rather than like directly to me, so to speak. And uh, things happen for a reason. And, you know, my faith has only gotten stronger with time, but it's one of those things too, where something may happen 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and that might have been God speaking to me in a way that at the time I didn't understand, but then later on it's like, oh, I'm connecting the dots and I'm figuring it. So, where I'm at now is I'm just still absorbing, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to put together what my life's journey is, and how I can impact other people. And that's something that, with, as owning a business, and we have a team of 18 employees. How do I invest in these people's lives, and in some of these people too? That's, I'm not there to preach to them, so to speak, but I'm there to uplift and encourage and cheer on. And sometimes it can be harsh, harsh criticism, things like that. But it's always, what how can I show them the way? And um, God puts, I think, God puts people in your life too that I think I wouldn't say he expects, but he hopes that you can invest in them in a way to where not only can they find God, but they can find purpose in their life. And that's something that I'm really like more recently kind of thinking of. Like, I got people younger than me that are getting into this world and into this business, and they don't have the upbringing that I had. They don't have the experiences that I had, and I hope that I can help them learn from my experience to hopefully better their lives. And um, it's this conversation can go 100 different
Yeah.
ways, but
Oh,
So there's 18 and 18 employees. That's a big responsibility.
yeah,
That's 18 families that are looking to you and your leadership. And we often talk here on the Experience and the Experience Local about work-life based integration. Talk
yeah.
about how you integrate all of that with your family, you and your dad working together, these 18 folks that you have working for you.
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time. Well, I do it all. I mean, it's every morning, even this morning, I drive into SIO. We meet at 7 a.m., do like a team meeting, and we're talking about whatever the problems of the day are going to be. We're either, like this morning, it was more of an educational day. When we get really busy, we try to, cut it short. But I start that, and then I take off the next couple of hours figuring, what do I got to take care of right away in the morning, so that it's not too late, so to speak. And that's one of the things with working on the West Coast. We order stuff from the East Coast, and if you wait too long, you're not going to get it in the time frame that you need to. But I try to keep in touch with my wife, every day. Either give her a call, send her a text, tell her I love her, tell her, hey, you're beautiful, good morning, that kind of thing. She likes to sleep in. She's a stay-at-home mom. My son is getting homeschooled as well, so they're around all the time, in a sense. And so I get to spend a lot of time with them. And then, being owner of the business, I have a solid team in place that it gives me the freedom that, hey, I'm gonna take a day, and I'm gonna go do something with the family. And again, kind of like talking about my upbringing, that was something that, despite my dad being really busy all the time, he was able to take those days, just a random Wednesday, hey, let's go do something fun, let's go do something together. And I've been trying to integrate the joy of life with my family, so that they see the best side of me, and a side of me that's positive, upbeat, excited to go do something. And I think it's working out pretty well. But it's certainly a challenge. It's very easy to just kind of get in the rat race of, I got to get this done, I got to get this done, I got to get this done. So
right.
every once in a while, taking a pause and bringing the family into the fold. And we do a lot of fun stuff together.
Well, you and I have had a lot of great chats, and life is always challenging when you're young, trying to figure
Yeah.
everything out, especially as a business owner. That's a big, huge thing. But I want to take a quick break here and just remind everybody, this is the Experience Local Live with Russ and Scott. And we're here every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. But I want to remind you that we really encourage that you engage in the show today. Just really reach out and comment. We appreciate if you share this and tag your friends. Let people know Kirby's on, especially you in the local Willamette Valley area. Make sure and tag your friends and let them know. Appreciate that. But Kirby, just really appreciate what you're all about. What I love most about you is that you're a very thoughtful young man, that you are always looking to better your relationships. And sometimes that can be a bit of a strain with business and all of that. And so what do you really, I mean, this I think is where faith comes in, because we're not perfect. We're all still, I'm a work in progress, and I'm sure you are too. We're all still works in progress. So talk a little bit about that and how you really try to intentionally focus, like your messages to your wife. That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it's something that I have to think about. It's not just natural where you're just like, I'm not I generally think of myself as a pretty quiet person. Like I'm not extremely active on social media and stuff. So I would say like more of like a private person. So it's something that I do just personally struggle with, is sometimes I have that anxiety of talking to somebody that maybe I don't know, but I like start sending a message, reaching out to them, seeing how they're doing, trying to remember people's birthdays. I always try to put them in my calendar and reach out when it's their birthday, say happy birthday, things like that. But I just, every day it's kind of that, I would say that I kind of cliche, I wake up and look in the mirror, but I always kind of think about, who do I need to reach out today, or who's going to pop up that I want to spend, 5, 10, 15 minutes thinking about, or whether it's praying for them or just reaching out to them and giving them positive encouragement. Of course, again, with running the business, the focus is really on the people that I have on my team, but there's other people out there that I try to think of and put effort and focus into. But really, I use technology to kind of help me keep track of who I need to talk to, and so far that's really just helped me stay on track, because I'm a very, I wouldn't say squirrel brain, so to speak, but I can really get off on a tangent and like, oh, I thinking about this thing, and I'm always somebody who's looking for the next thing. I'm deeply interested in motorsports and cars and motorcycles and all these things, and I'm always like interested in like a mechanical project or something, or like building Legos with my son, things like that. But I try to give myself about 10-15 minutes every morning to think about who I intend to reach out to that day, or who do I need to focus on, maybe somebody who's struggling again on my own team. Do I need to give them positive encouragement? Do I need to sandwich positive encouragement with some criticism? Hey, this is what we need to work on, and then give them more positive encouragement. I usually spend that first 30-45 minutes when I wake up in the morning thinking about that, and that helps. That kind of sets my day on the right foot.
Well, I just came off a 4-day career site with high school and college students, and your business is in the trades, and I would just like to have you give some encouragement and some insights into this as a career and as a potential business that people could own, and just help our students, because we need more people that are skilled coming into the industries.
Yeah, are you talking trades in general?
Yeah, trades in general, but specifically HVAC.
HVAC, yeah. So we're in an interesting time right now, especially with the addition of AI, right? We have artificial intelligence that's creeping into almost every single industry. Whether you see it yet or not, it is. And specifically, it's sneaking into, content creation, with whether it's marketing and sales. It's creeping into the technology sector, coding, right? For many years, there was like, you should be teaching your kids, learn to code. Well, now AI can code, 10 times faster, or thousands times faster to the 10th degree than humans can. And so trades are one of those things, and HVAC specific, that everybody needs. We all want a nice warm house to live in, or a nice cool, when it's, summer right now. I'm sure in Texas, it's plenty warm. We all like to be comfortable, right? And this industry is something that, while it may at some point in our future get replaced to an extent by robots and AI, it doesn't appear that that's going to happen anytime soon. And one of the main things is every house we go to is different, right? So when young kids are kind of looking at what career do I need to go in, like what's realistic too, right? There's everybody, especially with like the kids of this, they want to be a social media star, or they want to be a content creator, they want to be, whatever, maybe it's a professional sport player. Well, that's great. You want to do that, but still, it's one of those things where only the top like 1%, get that. And sometimes it takes maybe a lucky break or being in the right place at the right time. So what is there that you can do that makes a decent living? And again, you can raise a family on and kind of enjoy, I would say, that that middle, what's the right, middle income, or, that middle, I don't know what the right word for it is. I'm mixed, but anyway, you can live off of and live a comfortable life. And all the trades, specifically HVAC, provide that. And many of the businesses, including ourselves, offer free training, so you don't have to go to college and get into debt to get the understanding of how to do this work. Of course, YouTube now and has been for a while, is a great source of information, but it's something that it's a business that, as of now, and I want to say that the last statistic I heard is for every 5 HVAC technicians that are retiring and getting out of the business, only 1 is entering. So there's this huge vacuum effect going on where there's just not enough people getting into this line of work versus what's retiring. And that's what it's doing is it's creating this inflated value for our time, which is honestly good for us, right? Because there's less of us out there, so therefore we become more valuable. But at the same time, there's more demand than ever. There's a push for high energy efficiency. There's a push for, building more homes, electrifying homes, which is a big thing. For us in the Pacific Northwest, Russ knows this. He recently had to replace his air conditioner, but the summers are getting longer and hotter.
That is something I want to break in on right now,
Yeah.
Kirby, and just tell you that was unfortunate and fortunate that you were there. And I know that there is a huge demand, and I want to encourage everybody to reach out and contact you, young people that are interested in going into an occupation where you can actually help develop them and grow them. Yeah. But our time for today is over, actually. So I need to have you give everybody your contact information for today, and they can follow up with you, because I want to, again, highly encourage people. Best Heating and Cooling, great company, but also a great resource for an occupation. Kirby, give us your contact information so people can reach out to you.
Yeah, probably the best thing is email, and that is Kirby, KIRBYL, at best-heating.com. There's like a best-heating.com. I believe I can type it into the comment section. And it's
scrolling across the bottom as well. I've got it scrolling on the screen as well, your email. So there you go.
So that will work. But add an L into Kirby L. Yep. And you got my Instagram up there, which, I don't really use it too much for business and stuff, but people are more than happy to contact me that way. And, Russ, I really appreciate, and Scott, really appreciate you both having me on today. It's always a pleasure. I kind of wish we had more time, but I understand.
Yeah. Well, I do too. And we're going to actually say goodbye with you on the screen today, because we appreciate you. Got to wrap things up. But everybody, thanks for joining the Experience Local Live with Russ and Scott. We'll be back next Monday, 9 a.m.
Good to see you, Kirby. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Good to see you too.
We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.